welcome to episode 27 of the Crochetluna Vlogcast. My name is Claudia and I'm coming to you from the San Diego area in Southern California, where I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everyone. And yeah, I was trying to get this up for you guys yesterday, but it just didn't happen. We had a little bit of a dental emergency here with my daughter, and so I still wanted to pop in here and say Merry Christmas, and that I hope that you guys are enjoying time with family and friends. And if you're not, I hope that I can keep you company for the next hour or so. I'm gonna try and keep this to an hour. So yeah, it is Christmas. It's here. Yes. It's been a pretty tame Christmas here in our house, and I'll tell you why. I decided that I wasn't going to get crazy involved in events and projects and things of that nature. We are actually celebrating Christmas at home this Christmas. We are staying in our house Christmas Eve. We have no plans to go visit anyone. We have pre-ordered a delicious vegan meal for my husband and I, and we have asked the kids what meal they would want the most. They can have whatever they want. They've made their choices, and so yeah, it's been pretty chill, which has been a really nice change of pace from the previous year. So I hope that if you have been running around like a crazy person and you're cooking and cleaning and preparing for guests, I hope that now that you have time to relax and enjoy a little downtime and eat some good food and all that good stuff. So the theme of this episode is Merry Sheepmas. And I titled it that because that is the title of this year's Vlogcast Christmas card that I created for the Vlogcast, and I did some nice Christmas card exchanges with people who reached out to me and said they were interested in doing that. And so I wanted to share some of those with you. And I guess I'm just going to jump right in. Like I said, I really want to get this up for you guys as soon as possible, so I'm not going to ramble on and on. But I did want to share with you what I consider my first finished object, which is the Christmas card. Last year it was the Christmas witch, and this year it is a little sheepy tree, which I am calling Merry Sheepmas. Merry Sheepmas. I can say it. And of course you have to have a little black sheep up here, right, with the star. And I had this idea a while ago on how I wanted to do the card, and so I usually hand paint these with acrylic, and then I have them printed. My printer here locally in Escondido prints them for me, and I do a 25 card run, and that's it. So for those of you who have received one of these cards, there's only 25 out there, so basically they're limited edition. I am really proud of my little painting here because it's really the one time of the year where I actually get to sit down and paint something. I always say, oh, this is the year I'm going to start painting, and it just ends up not happening. But because I really want to have a Christmas card that is just for the Vlogcast, it really forces me to sit down and take my paint out and take my paper out and I'll do some painting. So I'll show you the original. This is the original, and basically it's just done in acrylics, and then I take this to the printer and he scans it, and then he makes the card. So that is what I am saying is my first finished object of this episode, my Merry Sheepmas card. Next up, I know a lot of people have videos out there that tell you about the kind of things that you can buy, crafters, what are good crafting gifts. I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm actually wanted to share the top 10 things I am grateful for in 2018 that relate to crochet and our crafting. And I thought about it long and hard, and actually I had a hard time just trying to make a list of just 10 things. I actually had like 15. I'm like, no, it's got to be 10. So I've got the 10 things that I'm most grateful for in 2018 in the crafting crochet world. And these are in no particular order. It's just a list of 10. Nothing's more important than another thing, so I'm just going to list them from number 1 through number 10. So number 1, my first thing that I am grateful for is DK weight yarn, because I feel like in 2018 is when I really discovered how wonderful it was to work with DK weight yarn. For the most part, I've worked with worsted weight yarn and fingering weight yarn. Those are the two, and sometimes chunky, but for the most part, I live in the fingering weight and worsted weight areas. So this is DK weight yarn from my favorite flock of sheep that I follow on Instagram, and they're the Dalton Border Lesters. I can't ever see that name. Can't ever see that name, but you can see it right there. And this is DK weight yarn in this beautiful magenta color, and I brought this back from Yarn Day. I actually brought a lot of this yarn back, waiting for a nice project to work with. So DK weight yarn is number 1 on my list that I am thankful for, that I discovered in 2018. Okay, number 2, I am grateful for stitch markers. And I have put in here, just for purposes of showing you, different stitch markers. So you can see there's different lobster claw sizes. There's these other ones here that are like earrings that I like. Then you've got the little plastic ones, and then you've got these sort of like safety pin ones, bulb stitch markers. I don't know how I could work my projects without stitch markers. And not only are they fun, but they're practical. I have to say, for the most part, if I have to keep removing a stitch marker to keep track of starting rows or things like that, I like to use these, the plastic ones. They're easy to, you know, put in and out of your stitches. But in order to sometimes a project you need to know the front and the back of the project, I like to use the really pretty ones as progress keepers to let me know how far I've worked. And then they're just so much fun. You know, I've got pandas. I've got this beautiful one that I got at Yarndale from Trina, who is Brown Eyed Girl. This one right here has a little flower inside. I know Hannah made this one. I think I used them so much more this year than ever before. So even though I have a ton of them, I just don't think you could have enough, because a lot of times you lose them or they stay with projects, and so it's always nice to have a good selection of different stitch markers. Okay, number 3, the third thing I am grateful for in 2018 is large project bags. Because, and this is one that I've made, because I think we as crocheters, our projects are just more, they're bulkier. They're bigger and they're bulkier. And for the most part, when I I would go searching for project bags, the medium or the large bags were still not big enough to accommodate my crochet projects. So I created a larger size bag earlier this year, and I'm really happy with the size. So I am very thankful for large project bags. And now I see a lot more bag makers making the larger size project bags. Okay, number 4. Number 4 is, I am very, very grateful for well-written crochet patterns. And for me, what makes a well-written crochet pattern is that it has a stitch count on every row, a row count, a graph or a video, something that helps me get over the little humps in a pattern where a visual is much easier to follow than maybe the written word. So designers who are stepping up their pattern writing by including, you know, the little lists where you check off stitches or rows, I think that is genius. I so appreciate that, because before then I would just create my own. I have literally created Excel spreadsheets where I would just create exactly that same thing to help me, because I put patterns away for months and months and months, and if I have to come back and figure out where I left off or what I did, it's just such a much harder to finish the project. If I can just pull up that pattern and I know exactly where I left off, I know how many stitches I should have, or if I get to a point in a pattern where I'm not so sure how to work the stitch, then having a designer who takes the time to do a video or do a graph or do a chart or something like that is something that I really appreciate, and I'm seeing more and more people do that. And like I said, I have never had an issue paying for a well-paid pattern. I have paid for many badly written patterns, so when I come across a designer that gets it and writes a well-written pattern, I just think, take my money. I don't care. I love it. So number 4 is well-written crochet patterns. Okay, number 5. The number 5 thing that I am thankful for in 2018 is yarn festivals. I attended, I think, three yarn festivals this year. Yarndale being the biggest one I've ever attended. It was the trip of a lifetime. It was the biggest thing that I ever have done, and it was because of the crochet community and this Vlogcast that I was able to do that. And so if you have never attended a yarn festival, put it on your list to do. It is a wonderful place to meet up with like-minded people and an awesome place to look at beautiful yarns. So I am very thankful for the people who vend at these events. Very thankful for the people who put them together, because I know it must be a ton of work. And yeah, so yarn festivals I am super thankful for. The number 6 thing that I am thankful for in 2018 is Crochet Podcasts / Vlogcasts. There has been an explosion of people wanting to share their crochet on YouTube, and I think that is wonderful. I am blown away by how many people have got the courage after maybe thinking about it, or not wanting to do it but not wanting to do it, or being scared to do it, and getting a hold of their fears and, you know, uploading that first episode and then seeing their transition from that first episode to maybe episode 5 or 6 where you see a big change. I am thankful for everyone who wants to share their crochet journey with us. We are all the same. We all love crochet. We all love yarn. And so if we can help our community grow, I think it is wonderful. So I am very thankful for every blogcaster, podcaster out there who takes the time to record and show their makes and share tips and patterns and things like that. So thank you. You have enriched my life so much that, like I said, I don't ever want to stop watching crochet podcasts. So keep them coming, ladies and gentlemen. So that is number 6. Number 7 is I am also immensely grateful to the crochet community. The crochet community is awesome. I am incredibly lucky to be part of it, and I feel a real kinship with everyone out there who holds yarn and hook dear to their heart the way I do. And so my number 7 thing that I'm grateful for this year is the crochet community. All right, number 8 is something that until you get it, you just don't realize what you're missing out. Because until I got this, I was like, what's the big deal? Well, yeah, sure, maybe I should. But when I got it, it really changed things for me. And that is a yarn winder. Now, this is a Stanwood yarn winder. It is fantastic. It cakes up a huge cake of yarn. It's big, it's bulky, but it's definitely worth it. I had a little plastic one that I bought from Amazon that just broke. It fell apart, and it kept getting my yarn cut underneath, and I can't even tell you how many very nice skeins of yarn I had to cut to save because it just was a mess. So last year I invested in a nice yarn winder, and I'm really happy and thankful that I have it. Along with that is a nice Swift. This is also a Stanwood Swift. I bought both of them at the same time. This thing is amazingly wonderful. I love it. I had a metal one before, and what would end up happening is that sometimes the yarn would get caught as well, and it wouldn't hold on to the table. Like if it was spinning too fast, sometimes it would just collapse. So I decided I was going to spend the money to get a good Swift and a good yarn winder. So these are the number 8 things that I am thankful for that I have, because I think I got them last year. Let's see. Number 9. The number 9 thing I am thankful for is Ravelry. Yep. I don't know how I would be able to organize anything that has to do with my patterns or my makes if it wasn't for Ravelry, let alone find all the incredible patterns that I find. I mean, when I get a theme or an idea for Pattern Palooza and I go to Ravelry, I always find stuff. So I am really thankful for Ravelry. I know that I am just using a tenth probably of the potential of that site. And I do want to make it my goal in 2019 to explore more of the options and more of the things that Ravelry has available for us to use. So Ravelry is my number 9 thing that I am thankful for in 2018. And the final thing I am thankful for in 2018 are buttons. I love my crochet buttons. I love creating them, designing them, using them, and I love that so many people have decided to do the same and put their personality out there. I have buttons from other podcasters. Ooh, this one just fell. You know, I have my Keep Calm and Carry Yarn button, which has got like this really nice kind of fuzzy surface, which is awesome. My Sophie Swan button, which is, she's a she has a podcast, and I'll put her name down here because I know it has the word snowflake in it, but I don't remember the rest of it. So Sophie, I'm so sorry, but yes, I got this button from her when I went to Yarndale. I've got Quaylin's button here, and of course my buttons that I design, like I said. But and I have Zelda's button. If you haven't seen this button, I actually designed this for Zelda. The Yarn is Life button, that is her logo for her channel. So I love buttons, and I'm so happy that there's so much more available for us crocheters now than ever before. So I feel like we're not left out anymore. I think that people are being more inclusive, and so I am very happy and thankful for crochet buttons. Here's a little bit of KAL news. I will be participating in the Christmas Eve KAL that is hosted by Charlie of the Love Charlie podcast and Faye of the Crochet Circle podcast. That KAL runs Christmas Eve, December 24th through January 28th, 2019. So I have already picked out everything that I need, and I'll show you in a minute. But I will be participating in that KAL, as well as the Love Your Stash KAL that's being hosted by Hannah of the Cozy Cottage Crochet. That one runs December 25th, and it ends on February 28th, 2019. So you have plenty of time. And I think all she says is you have to use yarn from your stash. And if you watch her last episode, which is the last episode of 2018, she has all the details, and I will link her channel, and I will also put a Ravelry link to the Christmas Eve KAL that I just mentioned. So those are the two KALs that I'll be participating in, which I'm excited about because one of the projects is just amazing. Now, in terms of Crochetluna and our Ravelry group, I am going to step it up in our Sock Along thread. We have so much information, so many people that can answer questions about socks, and I think we need to be active and we need to keep pushing ourselves to really hone our skill at making crochet socks, because what people have made have just been incredible. So I am doing an annual KAL the same way that I did the box of Ornament KAL. This is an annual KAL that will run January 1st through December 31st of 2019, but it will be broken down into quarters, so 4 quarters. The hashtag for this KAL is hashtag sock theme KAL 2019, because what I'm going to do is I am going to put out each quarter the themes for each of the months. So for each month we will have a theme, and then you can crochet or knit, I don't care, a pair of socks, and make sure that you can tie your sock to the theme, whether it's the yarn, the pattern, I don't really care. Just as long as you can tie it to the theme, then I think it's perfectly fine. I'll give you the themes for the first quarter, which is January, February, and March. So for January is New Beginnings, for February is Love is in the Air, and for March is Feeling Lucky. So those are the 3 themes that will be available to you to crochet a pair of socks. And what I'll do is I will draw 3 winners at the end of the quarter, and you will each get a pattern from Ravelry up to $10. That's going to be the prize. If you manage to do a pair of socks every month and you hit every single theme from January to December, you will be entered into a giveaway that is going to be pretty epic. I'm going to be saving things throughout the year for one lucky winner at the end of 2019 who has made a sock every single month that hits every theme for each month. So I'm really excited about that. I hope somebody out there takes up that challenge and crochets a pair of socks every month. So like I said, the Ravelry group will have, if you look at the first post, will have quarter one's themes already on there by the time this episode uploads, so that you can start thinking about what your January sock is going to be like, and then you can plan for your February and your March sock. So that is how I really want to step up our sock along thread, because like I said, we've got Tamara of Crafty Escapism, who is our resident sock guru. There isn't a question that Tamara has gotten that she hasn't provided incredible answers and support to. So we have experts in that thread ready to help everyone who needs help. Now, I have also already, what is it called? I've already scheduled, words, people, words. I've already scheduled all the KALs that the Crochetluna Vlogcast is going to put out for 2019. And the first one is one that I cannot wait to get started on. I've already even bought fabric so I could do a project bag. I am so pumped and excited. I just can't wait. The Supernatural KAL that I will be co-hosting with Holly from the Yarn Journey Crochet Podcast. She is a huge Supernatural fan, and so we are gonna co-host this KAL. I will go ahead and host the Ravelry thread, the chatter thread on my Ravelry group, and she will co-host the finished object thread, and I'll read you some of the parameters of this KAL. So you can relate your yarn or pattern to the show Supernatural, but if you're not a Supernatural fan, then you can relate your yarn and pattern or project to anything that's supernatural, whether it is a legend, a myth, I don't know, tarot cards, anything that involves the supernatural realm. If you can tie it into your project, then you are more than welcome to participate in our Supernatural KAL. You don't have to be someone who watches the show, but why wouldn't you? It's the best show ever. So join us at on February 1st. Our hashtag for the KAL is Supernatural KAL 2019. I'll put it down here, Supernatural KAL 19. There will be prizes. Let's see. We're going to accept WIPs up to 50%. And then, let's see, what else? That's it. So, I'm really excited about the Supernatural KAL. Then, in May 1st through June 30th, yeah, 30th, for the month of May through June 1st. So it's just a month of May. So for the month of May, I will again be hosting the Dodgy Bag Mal. It was such a success last year. I'm hoping to get more people to try their hand at making bags. I have not heard back from Allie about co-hosting, but definitely I'm going to go ahead and say that the Mal will happen. Hopefully she'll join us. And so that is in the month of May. Now, let's fast forward to June 15th through August 17th will be the Summer of Romance KAL with that I co-host with Clarissa Beth in the summer. We still don't have a theme. We're working on it, and we'll let you know as soon as we get those details ironed out. But it should be another fun summer of romance. This will be the 3rd year. It's so exciting to say that. So, and then in October 1st through October 31st is Socktober. It's our annual sock along that will happen. And then that will bring us back to November and December, the end of the year, which will have to be some kind of finish along, because God knows I will need a finish along somewhere towards the end of the year, because if next year is anything like this year, this girl is going to need a finish along. I still haven't finished any of the WIPs that I talked about. I did start working on a WIP, which is the Sugar Skull sweater. Yeah, the Sugar Skull sweater that I started working on 2 Halloweens ago. I'm gonna get it done because I want that sweater done. I started working on that, and yeah, I think I can get that done. This is gonna be one of the first things that I'm gonna try and finish. Okay, so that's it for KAL news. Let me move on to finished objects. I have finished 5 things, but I can only show you 2 because 3 of them have been sent off. The first one is I am doing some crocheting for Heidi, who is Woofy Wool yarn, and she's going to have a trunk show in January at Sin City Knits. And so I told her, you know, I will be more than happy to crochet something for you to have at the show. She's a knitter, she doesn't crochet. And she picked 2 designers that she wanted me to, whose patterns she wanted me to use. These are designers I'd never heard about before. But let me tell you, I can't recommend this first pattern enough. I've made 3 hats based on this pattern, and I'm going to start a 4th hat, and it is called the Mango Slouch by Sheila Toy Stromberg. This is the pattern. Now Sheila used 1 skein of Malabrigo. It is Malabrigo, the Mecha, which is the Aran weight, or what I think is like a worsted weight yarn. But I actually ordered some Mecha, and it looks like it's thin, and I can't show it to you because my dog ate it. She literally took it apart. I think she didn't eat it. She just played with it and like made yarn barf, which is exactly what she did with my sock yarn for my Christmas socks, but I'll talk about that later. So, but it looks like it's got the thin and thicker pieces. She used 1 skein of that, and what's really cool about this pattern is that the ribbing, you can do it as crochet ribbing or as knitted rib, which I think that's pretty cool. If you can do both, then why not, right? I personally I did the crochet rib. The first hat, I will put a picture so that you can see it because I shipped it off to Heidi so she can have it for the trunk show. I did make 2 more. And the first one I'm going to show you is this one right here. This is done with 1 ball of Patton's worsted that was in a camel color that I dyed with food coloring last year just to try dyeing. It was my first attempt at doing it. That's why it's 3 different colors, because I tried 3 different ways of dyeing. So this is the first one I did was this dark green going into this color right here, and then moving on to this color right here. So I did this hat with 1 ball, and then I ran out, so I had to use a little bit of some unknown wool that I had in my stash in this kind of like green color right here. Love the fit of this hat. I cannot say enough good things about the fit of this pattern. Now you can see in her picture that the hat is slouchy. I'm not a big fan of slouchy hats, so I actually removed, I think it was 3 rows from the body of the pattern so that it wasn't so slouchy. And then I did another one which is done completely with scrap yarn. I made one of those balls, like, what do they call it? Like magic knot balls, where I took, I've lost count of how many yarns I put together to get this weight of yarn, but I did this one right here. This actually is what is it called? Blue Face Luster with a little mini that I had, so I went ahead and put them together. This here is what's left over of my Skipton hat by Vicki Brown. This is just a plain Patton's, it was Patton's worsted with another little mini, so you can see it's in there. And this here I combined like 3 or 4 minis that were like fingering weight yarn to get the same weight. So all the yarn is basically the same weight. It's a little heavy. I love it. Like I said, I can't say enough good things about this pattern. I love the way it looks. I love the stretch of the rib. I love how it fits. So I made 2 of these for me. I'm going to start a 3rd, and then I made 1 for Heidi, and I will include the picture for Heidi's hat. I actually have a sample of the yarn that I used for Heidi's hat. It's this really pretty blue with these little accents of rust. The colorway is Raven, and it's her 3-ply bulky superwash merino yarn. So that is finished objects 1, 2, and 3. And then I participated in the box of Ornament Swap. So I hosted that KAL. People posted the cutest ornaments in my Ravelry thread. And then at the end I said, if you guys would be interested in doing a swap, let me know. The box of Ornament Swap, the Ornament Swap itself, was great. I actually exchanged ornaments with 2 people, which was Myra and Sandra. And I will show you the cutest things that I got in the mail. So Myra made me a little gingerbread house. Look at that. And it's got this really cute stitch marker right here. And then she made me a snow globe. Look at this. With a little penguin. It's so cute. This is so cute. I haven't put these on my tree yet because I wanted to show them to you. And then she sent me some chocolate. And then she sent me this, which I am dying to try. It's chai tea latte. I've never had this. So I'm going to try the, and she, like I said, she sent me chocolate. And she also sent me this really, really cute snow globe card. It's like a 3D. Then Sandra made me 3 sweaters. She made 3 sweaters for me. 1, 2, and 3. So she made me 3 sweaters for my tree, and she sent me something else that I've never tried, which is this apple cider. I've never had any of this stuff. Love it. And a beautiful Christmas card. So that was my ornament swap. I really appreciate the fact that people did this, because I did 2 amigurumis, and I'll show you I'll put the pictures here so you can see. I made a snowman and a reindeer, and I happened to be spending some time with my crochet bestie Zelda. She had decided to come down to one of the casinos that are it's like 30 minutes from where I live, and she had a room, and she was spending the weekend crocheting, and I decided, yeah, let me go hang out with you for a bit. And so I had to finish the ornaments, and we happened to like FaceTime. It's not FaceTime, but it's like video chat with Laurel of the Dabbling Hook. She does a lot of amigurumis, and I said, I don't know how you do this. I feel they're very challenging. Let's just say they are very challenging for me. I was losing my mind a little bit putting all the little pieces together, because the pattern set, I could crochet the things fine, but then it would just say sew in ears, sew in antlers, sew in muzzle. And I said to Laurel, I've never done this. How do I sew it in? And she's like, oh, they never tell you. And then she said, just sew it in. It's gonna look cute at the end. So I did, and they were super cute. But having had that experience, amigurumi is not something that I really like. Next, let's talk about my WIPs. I'm only gonna say I have one WIP right now. Those other WIPs that I showed you in past episodes are now old WIPs. This is a current work in progress. So we're going to move on ahead, and I will show you my current work in progress, which I am loving so much. It's coming out so fantastic. I can't wait to finish. If I could finish it tonight, I will be so happy. But it is a pair of Christmas socks. And I happened to see this pattern. Tamara actually was talking about it in the sock group. And I immediately went to check it out, and I will show you the pattern. It's called Fabulous Socks, and yes they are, by Marta Mitchell. Marta, I say Marta because in Spanish we say Marta. I could say Martha, but I don't see the TH, so I'm just going to say Marta Mitchell. I hope that's okay. So, it's Fabulous Socks. And this is the designer's name. Well-written pattern. I have had no issues. I'm using yarn that I bought at Yarndale from Rosie's Moments. The colorway is Christmas is Coming. And I was with Charlie when I saw this skein of yarn, and I said, I think these are going to be my Christmas socks. And she's like, you should totally get it. So I went ahead and I caked up 2 different cakes of yarn so that I could do them at the same time. Well, you know, like I worked on one and then I worked on the other, because Tamara had actually given me that tip a long time ago, and I feel like it's the best tip ever. If you're going to crochet socks, do them both, work them both at the same time. It just makes so much more sense to do that, and I'm loving it. Look how this is working up. I've got a heel that I'm working on. This is the yarn. So let me tell you, I started my socks a while ago, I think December 1st, and I had up to, I think, where this stitch marker is right here. And we have a new puppy. Her name's Little Bear. She's a little Chihuahua. My dogs don't mess with my yarn. Rarely. And it's only if it's accessible to them. So I never worry about leaving yarn on tables because they don't mess with that. This little girl got on the table, took my yarn, and made yarn barf out of it. So I couldn't crochet my sock. I counted. I spent 6 hours untangling my ball of yarn so that I could make my second sock. It was so frustrating, but I'm glad that I was able to do it. I was determined. I'm like, I don't care how late I have to stay up or what it takes. I'm going to untangle this now, because if I don't do it, then I'll never do it, and then these socks will never get made. Like I said, the pattern is very easy to follow. I've done heels for both, and I'm working on finishing up. I don't know if you can see that there's sparkle in this yarn, but these are my crochet socks that I'm hoping to finish this week. And they are living in one of my little crochet sock bags that are in my store right now. And oh, and I ordered, where is my hook? I just had it. Oh, here it is. I ordered a hook from Polymer Clay Shed, who is one of my favorite hook makers. And I don't know if I showed it to you before, but it's this really cute snowman. And it is living in my Luna pocket. All my bags have what I call a Luna pocket. So there are still bags in the shop, you guys, if you wanted to get a nice a nice soft bag for your project. So that's what I have as a WIP, a current WIP. Okay, so moving on to my project queue. What's on my project queue? It is another one of the projects that I'm working for Heidi at Wolfie Wool Yarn for her trunk show at Sin City Knits in January. She picked the designer and I picked the pattern, which I think is beautiful. The pattern is called the Enchanted Rose Cow by Rachie Nguyen Designs. This is the pattern. It uses 2 skeins of yarn, which hold your horses, okay? These yarns are gorgeous. She sent me the yarns to work the project. And this one here is called Chai Spice. Beautiful colors as always. And this one is called Lone Wolf. Look at how beautiful that pink is. So these two are going to be my Enchanted Rose Cow. And I am using one of my own project bags. Cute little foxes, because this is also going to be my Christmas Eve cast on for the Christmas Eve cow. So this is going to get caked up as soon as I stop recording so that I can start working on it, and I'm really excited about that. Now the other project that is in my project queue is a knitted project. And I saw this, I've been watching Chelsea Yarn's podcast. I think they're really fun ladies. And they were gifted this cow with these giant pom-poms. And I believe Chrissy Glass Knits also had this particular project. And, I mean, make that was gifted to her. It's called the Loopy Cow. And it's very simple. It's just a cow, but I love these giant pom-poms. And it's made with 1 skein of Loopy Mango. Now, if your crochet bestie happens to be the mail lady who delivers at the Little Knittery in Los Angeles, which is the most fantastic yarn shop, what do? You say, Z, can you pick me up some Loopy Mango? And what does Z do? She picks you up some Loopy Mango. Look at that. Loopy Mango number 5. So she took a picture of all the different colors, and I really like this color. So I got this from the Little Knittery in, I think it's Los Feliz, where it's located. Anyway, I also told her I needed some, I think it's 15 millimeter needles. I think that's what they are. And the pattern says you could do it with straight needles or with circulars. It didn't matter. And I was like, whatever. And Z's like, you need to get the Loopy Mango knitting needles. So I got Loopy Mango knitting needles right here, ready to go. So I'm really, really, really interested in making this pattern. I think it's really simple. I think it's something that you can do in a day. That's what's in my project queue, and it is living in one of my Christmas bags that I made last year when I was playing with sizes and shapes. I made this really pretty bag. So that's what I have in terms of projects and WIPs and things of that nature. I will share some of my acquisitions. So let's move on to Yarnapolis, which is my acquisition segment. And I have been very lucky that I have been gifted some things. Zelda gifted me a beautiful skein of Malabrigo. It's called Intenso, and it's worsted weight. And it is that vibrant. It is that beautiful, and it's got all the different pinks and reds. I can't wait to make this into a hat. I'm actually thinking about doing a a mango slouch with this yarn. It's so gorgeous. So thank you so much, Zelda. This, you know I love this color. Then I bought, if you have been watching and noticing, this beautiful cup with this beautiful llama, and then you can look at the beautiful pattern and colors, and another beautiful llama with a little rose, and then some yarn. I love this cup. This cup was designed by Sharon, who is My Crochet Makes on Instagram. If you go to her Redbubble site, you can get this image on bags, pins, t-shirts, anything you want to put it on, you can put it on. I just happen to be a collector of cups, and so I love her face. So, and I love that it kind of looks like it's watercolor. So beautiful design. And I got it, I think I got it within like 5 days. It was super fast shipping, and I love the quality of it. So check her Redbubble site. She is Redbubble. She is My Crochet Makes on Redbubble and Instagram. I have not done a lot of yarn shopping. I'll have to tell you about that. I have been very reserved. I have also been incredibly busy. It's been November, December have been incredibly busy months. I have on my agenda that I want to start the new year with a clean house. Remember, the word of the year for me this year, 2018, was organized. There were spurts throughout the year where I did very well with it, and then I just would fall off. And I really want to start the new year on the right note. I don't want to spend all my time cleaning and organizing. So the less you have, the less you have to worry about. And so I've been purging and just getting rid of a lot of stuff, which has made me very, very happy. Now, I want to talk about one of the things that I was grateful for, which was Crochet Podcasts. I have 4 crochet podcasts to recommend. I watched all of them, and I have enjoyed them. Some have been around for a while, and some have just started. The first one that I want to recommend is the Crafty Poppet Crochet Podcast. That is Asa Marie, and she's in Australia. What I like about her podcast is that she doesn't buy new yarn. Her yarn, almost 99% of it comes from what she calls op shops, which are opportunity shops. Here in the States we call them thrift stores, and I know in the UK they call them charity shops. So she takes you through her projects and her acquisitions of yarn at these op shops, which I think is fabulous. She also crochets some really nice pieces. So check out the Crafty Poppet Crochet Podcast. Then you guys have seen that we have a new podcaster, Lori, who is Lori Lou 327. She's been mentioned by other podcasters. She's been working her butt off blogging all of December, and her first podcast, I think, goes live in January. But if you have seen her Vlogcast, she's doing some really nice work. And then this is a podcaster here in the US that I think has a really strong following and has been around for a while. Her name is Stephanie, and she runs the It's Crochet O'Clock podcast on YouTube. She does a lot of lives. She consistently has a live stream schedule on YouTube, and she talks a lot about she's very strong on copyright. She talks about copyright, and it's a very interesting podcast to follow. I enjoy it. Like I said, not every podcast is everyone's cup of tea, so just keep an open mind that though I am recommending these podcasts to you, if you don't like them, just move on. Let's keep everything positive, and let's be kind to each other. And so I say that because I have been hearing some not so nice things that have happened, and so I just want to say these are people who are new to me that I'm enjoying, and maybe you'll find one or two that you enjoy as well. But if it's your cup of tea, then you just move on and, you know, find ones that you do like, right? Now, there's a UK podcaster. Her name is Heather, and her channel is HG Designs Crochet. Lovely lady who is podcasting about her crochet journey. I enjoy her podcast as well. She's a huge Harry Potter fan. And yeah, just, I follow 138 podcasts on YouTube. Do I watch them all? No, but I watch a large majority of them, and a lot of times they are playing in the background. And so, like I said, I'm so grateful that so many more people are podcasting and doing videos about crochet. So those are 4 new podcasts that you can enjoy. I wanted to share some of the awesome Christmas cards that I have been receiving, and some of them came with little gifts. So let me show you what I have received, which I feel very blessed and happy that these things made their way to me. The first one I want to show you was sent to me by Zelda. This is her Christmas card, and I love that she puts on here, it's the most wonderful time of the year because all yarn is on sale. So this is Zelda's Christmas card. Then I had this beautiful Christmas card from Clarissa Beth. This is so her, I think. It's just so classy and pretty. And she sent me, as a gift, this amazing crochet hook roll. So I got to put my crochet hooks in there, and they fit beautifully. And I've got the big number 9 crochet hooks, or size 10 I think here, and I have some of my polymer clay hooks there. And it's one of my favorite fabrics. I have a bag that Hannah made me with this fabric, and now I have this beautiful roll. And she sent me the little scrap of it too, which I will be making something with that. I just know it. Then I got a card from Ella of No Catchy Name with 2 cute penguins. A beautiful card from Lori, who I just mentioned has the Vlogcast. She's been blogging and will start a podcast in January. Nice little reindeer. She also sent me pins. So do you see the pin? Nice, but can also be naughty. And some chocolate, and she made 2 really beautiful stitch markers. As I said, I am grateful for stitch markers, and I am especially grateful for beautiful stitch markers like this and the little acorns right there. So she made me that, so thank you so much, Lori. Then Carla, who is CJ Crochet, she also has a podcast here on YouTube. Check her out. Her daughter designed this card. I think her daughter's an artist, a graphic designer, or she's an artist. So she designed this cute llama card, and she also sent me a very cute stitch marker. Very nice. Then I have a very squeaky chair today, you guys. Now, these are really special. Everything I have received is special, but this is really special because it was designed by the lovely, lovely Helen, who has sent me some really touching gifts throughout the year. She always manages to send me such, to me, like, I feel like she really thinks about me and kind of tries to get things for me that are very meaningful. And so last year her little son designed a card, and so this is why it's special, because her son in 6th grade, Colm, designed this card. So I love it. So Colm, thank you so much for my card. I think that your design is absolutely perfect. I mean, we've got stockings and presents and reindeer and Santa and a Christmas tree. So I think you did an absolutely bang job on this card, and I love it. And I have a box where I keep all the cards that people sent me, and I will keep your card and I will cherish it. So thank you so much for the fantastic card that you created. She also sent me the most, okay, she sent me two things that are just incredible. She is doing some thread crochet, which I don't know, I think I would go blind. So she made me the most delicate, beautiful little thread crochet Christmas tree. Look at the detail. Look at the size of this thread. I mean, this is crazy. I just can't, I cannot imagine working with anything this thin. But she made this beautiful tree, and she also sent me a pin that has the carpenter crest on it. Look at that. Oh, I don't know if you can see that, if that's gonna focus. There it is. So my married name is Carpenter, and so this came with a little history of the name, and I thought it looked perfect in my sock bag. So thank you so much, Helen. Thank you for thinking of me, and thank you for sending me that. She also sent me some chocolate, and that's gone, and a beautiful letter. I also received a card from Trina, who is Brown Eyed Girl, and I love it. Look at that beautiful card, the snowman. She also sent me some nice tea. I love getting tea in the mail because I like coffee in the morning, and then I like tea in the afternoon, and so I love getting these different teas that I can try out. So she sent me a beautiful card and some tea. I have some news that I want to share that I'm really excited about. I think it's such an incredible opportunity. I will be, well, not me, but my buttons will be at Vogue Knitting Live in January. Yes, my buttons will be in a booth. The vendor is Diane, and she is the founder of Lady Di Yarns, and she is incredible. I don't have any other words. She's such an incredible person. She wants to promote diversity in the fiber community. She wants to help designers of color, artists of color, to get out there and be shown. And so she put a post on Instagram asking for makers of color to contact her to see if it would work to be part of her stall at Vogue Knitting Live. And I reached out to her, and she reached back out to me, and we've had a couple conversations, and I can't even tell you how excited I am for the opportunity to be part of Diane's booth at Vogue Knitting Live. I mean, Alex Creates will be there, and there's a couple other designers and people who will be there, including Diane's really beautiful yarn. So that is huge. And along with that, she will be at Stitches West in Santa Clara, and I will be at Stitches West this year. Booking, well, actually Zelda has booked us already, and we are set to be there Thursday through Sunday. So if you have plans to be at Stitches, if you're even thinking about being at Stitches, just do it and come hang out with us. We're gonna have a lot of fun. My buttons will be there. There is a whole collection. There's like, I want to say 10 to 15 new designs that are coming to KAL and coming to Stitches for the show. I am so excited about that. I will, like I said, I'll be there. I'll be at the booth and I'll be walking around, and so if you see me, please come say hello. I would love to meet you. And that's it. That's everything that I had to talk about on this episode. You'll probably be seeing this on Christmas Day. I want to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. If you are not, you know, there's some people who are not into the holiday thing, and I think that's fine. So if you are not celebrating with a big group of family, if it's just you and your yarn, I send you kisses, hugs, and I wish you the best. Enjoy your time, and I hope that this episode kept you company and made you smile, and I will see you very soon with lots of good crochet and lots of pattern palooza. I'm trying to work out some details as to what I want the channel, how I want the channel to grow, but it's always keeping the crochet in the forefront and keeping things so that they are positive and they are good and they keep our community growing. So I love you guys. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you to anybody who is a new subscriber. Thank you to anybody who keeps coming back to watch my silly little videos. And I wish you nothing but the best for 2019. Crochet on, and I will see you next year. Bye.